Play dangerously and you will play better. So the question obviously is, what does playing dangerously mean? What I mean by it is that you need to push yourself out of your comfort zone, and by doing that, you're going to make mistakes, you're going to play a little bit sloppy, but you are going to see improvement. How are you going to see improvement if you're allowing mistakes and not playing as clean as possible? Well, I've got 4 examples that I'm going to give you today that will help you do just that. These examples are meant to help you work on controlling your picking. And the way they're presented, they're going to give you information to work on in smaller chunks. These small chunks, as it were, you're going to work on by running and walking. And what I mean by that is you're going to play fast and then you're going to play slowly. How did you ever learn to run? Did you simply walk faster and then all of a sudden you were running? No, you worked on running. So we need to work on playing quicker and playing slowly. And we're going to do it all in one chunk of information. By doing these exercises with running and walking and allowing yourself to make some mistakes along the way, I guarantee the outcome for you will be that you will play cleaner lines and you will feel so much more in control of your picking. We're going to be using examples from 3-note per string scales, and in these examples they'll all be in either E minor or G major. As a reference, a 3-note per string scale looks like this. Here's G major. Our first example is going to begin on the 12th fret of the B string. So as you can hear, the first part of that is running up, and then the second part is walking down. It begins on 12 on the B string, goes to 13, then to 15, then we go to the next string, 12, 14, and 15. And then you just simply walk down 14, 12, back down to the B string, 15, 13, and then it starts over again at 12. Now the beauty of this is you can play that running part as fast as you want. And what I would encourage you to do is to play it until you start to hear maybe 1 or 2 mistakes in it. That's where the tempo should be. And you're going to gain control over things because you're also playing slowly. And it's a really, really good control piece for any sort of scale fragment that you want to practice it with. Of course, you want to move this into other scale fragments because you may be really good at one particular one, but you need to push it into other areas where you're not as good. So maybe this one here. Example 2 takes that concept of running and walking, and then it adds a position shift. So instead of just going circular and going up and back down, we're now going to play through the pattern and shift into the next position on the way down. So like this. So in this case, we go up the same fragment, which is 12, 13, 15, 12, 14, 15. And then I slid up to the 17th fret and came down 17, 15, 14, 17, 15, 13, and then started over. So it gives you that practice of position shifting, which you're going to need many, many times in things that you play. And don't assume that a position shift is only going to be the position right next to it. It could be a position shift away from it. So what if I take this fragment here and shift all the way up to the 19th fret and play this scale fragment. 19, 17, 15, 19, 17, 15. It would look like this. We're making sure that our hands can play in sync both quickly and slowly, but also with position shifts. That really helps. Our next example is taking the same idea, but reversing it. So many times people will practice through picking examples or scales or whatever they're working on, and they do it one direction. You got to always make sure to reverse this stuff. So in this example, I'm going to run by descending the first time. You get the benefit of descending through a pattern with a position shift there. So those are really, really helpful for control as well. So far we've made sure that you can ascend through a scale fragment and stay in the same one on the way down. Then you ascend through a scale fragment and do a position shift and come down the second fragment. Next, we ran through the pattern on the way down, did a position shift, and walked on the way back up. Our last example that we want to look at is making sure that we span the fretboard. Let me show you what I mean. If I play this pattern here on the second fret, and then I play it up here, the same octave above, my fingers are very close together. Make sure when you are practicing these types of exercises that you're not only pushing yourself with tempo by doing these bursts of running and walking, but that you're making sure to play them in other positions way down the neck here, because you will definitely feel a difference by stretching out like that. So this last example is meant to work on that. It also really helps you learn how to connect your scale fragments up and down the neck, so that's just an added bonus here. Let's take a look at it. The beauty of that one, of course, is it really shows you how to connect those scale fragments on the neck, and of course, you're still working on the burst, you're working on playing slowly. All of that gives you more and more control. Everything we've done today has been about controlling the notes that we're playing, and that's why we're doing this. So you want to make sure that you're not just tensing up and trying to get as many notes out as you can. That's not really the way to do this. It never has worked for me. This absolutely worked for me to gain more control over what I was picking. I'm not a blazing fast shredder, and it's not necessarily something that I'll probably ever be. However, I feel like I have so much more control over the notes that I am picking, and I have gained speed by doing these type of exercises. The main thing I gained was I got the tension out of my hands and my arms, and I was able to play what I wanted to play without that sort of tension, which if you get rid of the tension, you also up your game. You're playing better, your notes sound purer. All of that sort of helps clean it up. So as you play all of these examples, make sure that as you practice them, you are pushing yourself and making a couple of mistakes along the way, because these are designed to help clean up those mistakes as you do them more and more. If you enjoyed today's video, the best free way you can help my channel is by hitting that like button. If you want to subscribe, make sure to do that. Hit the notification bell so that you're notified of future video releases. Another free way you can support the channel is by shopping through the Sweetwater affiliate link down below. Get your guitar strings, your guitars, your amps. Doesn't cost you anything extra, but it helps support the channel, and I really do appreciate it. If you want to join our Patreon community, it's patreon.com/Paul Warren Music, where you'll have access to backing tracks and tabs and private lessons and that sort of thing. Thank you so much for checking out the video. I know it will help if you give it a shot. Play dangerously, push yourself. It really will help. I'll see you all next time.